IVAR assembly, 175 centimeter edition. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Clueless Dad. Today we're going to assemble IVAR shelves from IKEA. So as you can see, these are really simple, untreated soft wood, and it's very basic. It's basically just two sides and four shelves. And in this case, this is the 175 centimeter version. There's different sizes, like a medium and a tall. This is the tall one, and it's just one set of sides. It's not multiple units together. So super simple, relatively inexpensive. It's 840 Hong Kong, which is about 115. I'm thinking if you buy in the US, it's probably even cheaper, maybe like 100 US, give or take. So construction-wise, it's very basic. So first of all, the wood is actually really cheap and it's full of knots. And then the assembly is very simple. So simple that they don't even include an instruction book as near as I can tell. Maybe there's one hidden between these shelves, but it should be so simple that it's relatively self-explanatory. So first let's talk about the pieces. The two side assemblies, or whatever you want to call them, they're pre-assembled, and there's a series of holes drilled down the whole length, and that's where the pins go that set the shelf heights, just like on any other IKEA bookshelf. So in this case, it's a little bit more because the pins actually lock into the shelves. So it's not just that they're there for the sake of holding the shelf up, but they're actually there for holding the sides to the shelves to hold the whole thing together. So there's no like kind of outside case that goes top to bottom, side to side. It's actually the shelving units themselves lock the two sides in. So it's a little bit different than the Billy bookcase or these other kind of IKEA bookcases. And so the planks themselves aren't just wood like they would be in a Billy bookshelf. In this case, they actually have kind of rails screwed onto the sides, and then those lock into these metal pins which go into the little holes there. So that's kind of how the whole thing stays together. So enough talking, let's try to actually put it together. It's a little bit tricky because this thing's kind of tall, and you basically have to kind of assemble it on the floor and then pick it up. So I'll have to do a time lapse and zoom down at the floor, and hopefully it'll all fit. And then I'll actually pan the camera up and do a lifting. And again, I'm here all by myself, and it's the middle of the night in Hong Kong. So hopefully I don't drop it. Try to get some help when you do it yourself. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so I've partially assembled it. I basically just put in the bottom and top shelf. In this case, it's actually connecting it. So the reason it's still super wobbly is because there's basically just these pins that snap into these tracks, which are on the ends of the shelves. And it's actually pretty easy. You can just use your fingers. I don't think you need to use a mallet or anything. And I should also note, I have seen some assembly videos from 2017, so 2.5, 3 years ago, for the same named item, the IVAR shelves. And in that case, I think it was like from the US, the shelf design was different. So in this case, as I mentioned, it's like a metal track connected into the wooden planks. But in that one that I saw, it actually had plastic ones. So I don't know if it's stronger, if it's lighter, if it's cheaper, but I'm definitely going to prefer to have this one. The only thing is you have to be careful that you don't scrape your floor or your wall while you're assembling this, because it is kind of a harder edge. Although it's not like the highest quality metal. It's a cheap IKEA stuff. So anyway, I'm going to put the other two shelves in here, but the way that you actually keep this thing stable is not from the shelves themselves, it's from this. So there is one sort of cross beam, X beam type thing, which also comes with it, and it's very simple. Basically, it just has some eyelets on both ends, and you're supposed to go basically across obviously like an X. And in here, somewhere in there should be some very cheap wood screws, which can then basically just go in wherever. So there's no pre-drilled holes on this. And actually, as you can see, there's two sets of everything. So in this case, if you had multiple shelves, you could connect it on the same piece, just using the second set of holes. And in this case, we just leave it empty. So it's just super generic. You can use it in multiple configurations. You can change it later. So in this case, you just hook these up wherever you want to, at the bottom, at the top, in the middle. I guess it doesn't matter too much. So one issue is, ideally I should have a drill and I should pre-drill some holes and then put those wood screws in. In this case, I don't have a drill handy and I don't want to go get one from the office tomorrow. So what I will actually do is I'll just do it by hand, because based on my previous experience with the Tarva cheap pine furniture from IKEA, you can actually just do it by hand. So let's see how that turns out. Hopefully I don't split anything. I'm going to go nice and slow. I'm going to do one all the way, make sure it turns out okay. Worst case scenario, I guess if I see it cracking, I can take it out and screw it in tomorrow with a pre-drilled hole further down, hopefully. I'm not going to put anything too heavy, especially not at the top, so should be okay. Anyway, so let's keep going. Okay, still super wobbly. Definitely need those cross beams. Okay, here you can see with the cross brace put in, totally didn't need a drill. It's actually super soft wood. The first one you start is a little bit of a hassle. I would suggest that you screw it in first, then take the screw out and put this guy on so that you don't end up trying to screw while this weight is pulling on it, but that's a small thing. Yeah, so totally just have a screwdriver, maybe have like an ice pick or something sharp, or just use the screw to get an indentation going. Just push it in and then take it out and actually drive it in with a screwdriver. Yeah, pretty simple. And as you can see, even though mine kind of bows out a little bit, I probably could have put the holes slightly further away. Pretty stable. So for the price, not too bad. So one other thing I should note is that it comes with two of these very basic nylon straps with some screws, and there's a little hole in here. And so what that's for is that IKEA wants you to screw anything tall now into the wall, basically for safety, for kids climbing it on and whatnot. So it comes with two of these. I guess you're supposed to hook it either around here or perhaps around here. So they basically want you to, I guess, hook it around this and then screw this directly into the wall. And it comes with two screws with some washers to make sure that it doesn't pull out. So if you don't have kids around or you're putting really, really heavy books on the bottom, it'll probably be stable enough. But yeah, if you have little kids, probably a good idea to use these. So in my case, because I'm putting on a windowsill, there's a window behind me, but I could perhaps connect the sides at least to the wall so that it's a little bit safer. Okay, so here's the IVAR in all its glory. Yeah, not too bad. The hardest part, basically, as you could see, was getting those pins out of these shelf things on the sides. That literally was the hardest part. As you saw when I was assembling it, I also leaned it against the wall and then used the chair to make sure that it didn't tip over. The critical thing here is you want to make sure that it's a nice right angle between the floor and the side. So in my case, I just used the wall. Another way that I've seen is before you actually pick it up, you measure to make sure that it's right angles and whatnot. I think this way is actually better because I have a nice right angle built into my house. So just make sure that it doesn't tip this way. Make sure it's flush against the door and obviously flush against the floor, and you should be okay. Okay, so here is the IVAR all assembled. So what do you guys think? Any feedback? Any first-hand experience you want to share? So far, initial impressions wise, I can't complain. It's super cheap, but it does what it's supposed to. I was expecting something like this, so I'm not disappointed so far. And pretty much, I don't think it can't go wrong. It's pretty simple. So yeah, I'm gonna just leave it untreated. My Tarva bed, it's been almost 2 years. I never bothered to go back and stain it or lacquer it up, and it's fine. So yeah, if you're not like spilling water on it or anything, I think it's fine just to leave it untreated. So if you have any requests or recommendations for future videos, do let me know in the comment section below. I'm always buying new furniture and trying these things out, whether it's for my home or work. So I'm always open to new suggestions. Okay, see you guys next time. Bye. Having the stroller with me all the time up in the overhead bin. As soon as we get off the plane, pull it out, unfold it, and walk off. Literally that could save you 15, 20 minutes right there.